All right, now this is going to be our first section of map questions. Number one, according to the map above, in 1890, most Native American reservations were located in blank. All right, this is a simple, very straightforward type of map question. It's just asking you where most of these Native American reservations were located. And, the states are already labeled there. So we have South Dakota up here towards the top. We have B, Idaho. Not nearly as many in Idaho, so we can probably eliminate B. C, Oklahoma. A lot in Oklahoma. And D, Montana. Not as many in Montana. The answer to this one's going to be C, Oklahoma. Number two, which of the following was not acquired by the U.S. at the end of the Spanish American War? Now, for this particular question, the map is thrown up there, and it's almost thrown up to be a distraction because you don't need the map to answer the question. Okay, so if you look down there at your answer choices, there's only one of those that we technically never had possession of, and that's going to be Cuba. I mean, the Spanish American War, we worked out deals. We got the Philippines, we got Guam, we got Puerto Rico, and we specifically had an agreement put in place where we would not take control of Cuba. All right, number three, the United States fought in the Spanish American War to liberate which country? So this goes back to the question we just had on number two. Um, but the country that we're talking about is Cuba. That's the country that they sought to liberate. Now we just have to be able to match it up because the map itself is not labeled. Okay, and go ahead and you need to get this straight, and we'll talk about Cuba quite a bit. But the answer is going to be the Cuba is this island down here off the coast or off the tip of Florida. Okay, so it's going to be A, Roman numeral 1. Oh, and we got some more Caribbean questions. Number 4. What happened in 1898 to initiate U.S. expansion into the area shaded on the map above? Okay, so what happened there? What got us involved with fighting for Cuba's independence and for Puerto Rico and for Guam and the Philippines? Okay, it's not going to be the Mexican Revolution. It had nothing to do with it, so we can remove that one. Spanish American War, let's hold on to that. C, Venezuela boundary dispute. Venezuela, well south of there. It's not what we were talking about at that time. Or D, the outbreak of World War One. Now that didn't happen until 1914 or 15, so that's not going to be it either. Spanish American War. Spain had possession of Guam, of Puerto Rico, of Cuba, of the Philippines. So it is what ultimately got us involved in this, and it's going to be the answer to this question. All right, number 5. All right, this map up here shows the Louisiana Purchase. All right, which president was responsible for the territorial acquisition indicated by the darker shaded area on the map above? Now, the only thing we're using the map for here is to distinguish what that area was. And the map is even labeled. It's the Louisiana Purchase. So, which president actually acquired this territory? And this is going to be simple rote memorization. Okay, it's going to be C, Thomas Jefferson. He's the one that entered into the agreement with the French. By the way, the French needed the money because they were fighting a war, and we bought this territory. All right, number 6. Which area on the map was admitted as a state as a result of the Compromise of 1850? All right, so the Compromise of 1850. So, 3, we have the Pacific Northwest. 4, we have California. 2, we have up in the northern Great Plains area. And 1, we have down at the Texas area. And it's going to be D, 4. Okay, California was involved in the Compromise of 1850. One of the reasons that you could have probably got this one right, though, if you look at it, 1, 2, and 3. Number 7, use the map below to answer the following question. All right. The map shows the movement of a group of people from Nova Scotia, Canada to the Louisiana Territory. What group of people made this historic move? Okay, this is something just to remember. I don't know that we even covered this in the book. This probably won't show up on the test. Okay, it's going to be C, the Acadians. Number 8. What was a result of the Louisiana Purchase? Okay, again, so we have another map here showing the Louisiana Purchase territory. Would it have been that A, land owned by Great Britain doubled in size? Well, the answer to that is no. It wouldn't be that because Great Britain didn't have control over. We were already the United States at the time, and we were the ones that acquired Louisiana Purchase territory, not them. B, the land owned by the French doubled in size? No. C, land owned by Spain doubled in size? Again, no. It was land owned by the U.S. doubled in size. It's going to be D. All right, now we have territories in 1810 on the top map, and then major rivers of the U.S. on the bottom map. Okay, which river created a natural boundary for the Louisiana Purchase? All right, so we're looking for a river that would have been, basically made up one of the edges of the Louisiana Purchase. And this one's going to be the Mississippi River. Basically, prior to the Louisiana Purchase, the United States stopped at the Mississippi River. All right, number 10. This is a map of Western Europe here. Which of the following numbers correctly identifies the body of water over which American military forces conducted the D-Day invasion during World War II? All right, let's go back and think of what D-Day was. D-Day was where the Allied forces actually made landfall on Europe, in France specifically, at Normandy. Okay, then they staged their attack from Great Britain. So they left Great Britain and went to France. If you look at the map, which body of water would that be? Well, that's going to be the English Channel right there for number 3. Should be C. All right, number 11. Which area designated on the map above shows where the U.S. military was attacked in 1941? All right, so let's just identify what the areas are. We can see that it's a Pacific island. Not necessarily differentiate which one, but it's Pacific islands. Probably Hawaii. It's Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 2, that's the east coast of the United States. We weren't attacked there in 1941, so we can eliminate that. 3, this is up the North Sea, north of the British Isles, up toward Norway and Sweden in that area. We weren't attacked there. And Roman numeral 4 shows an area in the Indian Ocean south of the Arabian Peninsula. We weren't attacked there either. It's going to be Roman numeral 1, which would be Hawaii, specifically Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. All right, number 12. The shaded area on the map above is intended to show what? Okay, now if you look there, the shaded area is Germany. Okay, but there's a line going through the middle of it. So let's think about this. A, the division of Germany between Western and Soviet control after World War II. Let's hold on to that one. That makes sense. B, the areas of South Vietnam. It has nothing to do with Vietnam. Let's get rid of that. C, the creation of independent nations in Pakistan in 1947. No, it has nothing to do with India or Pakistan. Okay. And D, the final border establishment between North Korea and South Korea. Excuse me. All right. During the early 1950s, American led United Nations forces successfully resisted communist aggression in the area labeled. All right. Let's go ahead and identify some of these places here. Um, let's figure out where we did and did not get involved. Okay. We didn't get involved in the islands for Roman numeral 4 or Roman numeral 3. So we're down to 1 or 2. Um, Roman numeral 1 is going to be Vietnam. Roman numeral 2 is going to be Korea. And we did get involved in Korea and we stopped communist aggression there. So it's going to be B, Roman numeral 2. And to go along with that, here we are. This is a map of Korea in 1954. The line that has been labeled with the number 3 represents the division between, is it A, communist and non-communist sections of the country? Would that be, or B, zones of Soviet and Chinese influence? No. C, locations of industry? No. Or D, North and South trade corridors? No, it's going to be the division between the South Koreans, which are, now, and what throws you off there is it says sections of the country. Today it's 2 separate countries. South Korea is democratic, North Korea is communist. And that's going to be A. Number 15. Which letter on the map marks the location of Puerto Rico? Well, let's see where we know. Um, if we look at B, that's up in Canada, almost in Nova Scotia. Same thing. If you look at A, it's up towards Vancouver in Canada. So we could eliminate that. D, you need to be able to recognize this. The big island directly off the tip of Florida is going to be Cuba. So it's not that. It's going to be C, Puerto Rico, a little bit further east in the Caribbean. All right. Now this map is a little bit more involved, okay? All right, besides land, the government provided loans of $16,000 for each mile built on level land and $32,000 for each mile built on hilly terrain and $48,000 for each mile in high mountain country. Okay. So let's see here. The lighter shaded area is land reserved for grants to railroads, and the darker shaded area is the land actually received by the railroads. Okay, which conclusion is most clearly supported by the information in the map? A, the belief in laissez-faire prevented the federal government from helping the railroads. Well, right off the top, laissez-faire means hands off. It would have meant that the government stayed out completely. This is a map of land grants to the railroads. The government didn't stay out, so we can remove A. B, the federal government promoted transcontinental railroad construction. Let's hold on to that. C, Western railroads generated little profit for their owners. No, they generated a lot of profit, so we can eliminate C. D, railroad companies had to buy the land they needed for construction. No, the government just literally gave it to them. So the answer in this one's going to be B. The federal government did promote the transatlantic railroads. If you notice, most of these lines where they got a lot of land grants from the federal government actually are running east-west and covering a large portion of the country that was basically completely unsettled. All right, now this map here shows women's suffrage before ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920. All right, according to the map, in which region of the United States did women receive most support for equal suffrage before the passage of the 19th Amendment? Okay, so these states that are black up here, these are going to be states that already had equal suffrage for women. Okay, so that's mostly the western United States. So which region of the country? It's going to be D, West. Number 18. Okay, the U.S. government justified most of the actions shown on the map above by citing the what? All right, now, first of all, what region of the world are we talking about? This is Latin America. Okay, so this is the Caribbean, this is Central America and South America. Okay, would it be A, the terms of the Roosevelt Corollary? Well, the Roosevelt Corollary basically said we would handle any problems in Latin America. So let's hold on to that. B, threats from Germany after World War I. Germany wasn't threatening us after World War I. They didn't have the capability right after World War I, so it's not B. C. The desire to stop illegal immigration from Latin America. No, that has nothing to do with it. D. The need to protect Latin America from the threat of communism. We didn't really see this threat of communism until after World War II, so it's not that. It's going to be A. The terms of the Roosevelt Corollary to the Monroe Doctrine basically said that if anybody had a problem with a Latin American country, we would handle it. We did not want other powerful nations coming into Latin America. All right, same map for number 19. Which conclusion most clearly supported the information on the map? All right. Is it that A, the U.S. respected the sovereignty of Latin American nations? Would we have ever issued the Roosevelt Corollary or the Monroe Doctrine if we had? No, we basically said they couldn't do their own thing, so we had to take care of them. B, the U.S. military action was used to protect American interests. Let's hold on to that one. C, the U.S. rarely used its armed forces in Latin America before World War II. Well, the map clearly shows that that wasn't the case, so we can remove C. D, the U.S. military action in Latin America supported European colonies. No, we were kind of trying to put an end to the colonization of Latin America. All right, so the answer to this one is going to be B. We didn't protect Latin America because we were being good neighbors. We didn't protect Latin America because we wanted to be nice to them. We protected Latin America because we had a lot of money invested in Latin America. So we were looking after our own interests. B. All right, the main purpose of this map is to illustrate what? All right, so this is U.S. territories and leases between 1857 and 1903, and it shows all kinds of territory. And this, the map's basically worldwide here. Um, well, no, the map is pretty much showing all over the Pacific. So let's see here. A, the sources of important natural resources. No, it's not what it shows. B, the development of U.S. imperialism. In other words, the idea that we were going to expand around the world. Let's hold on to that one. C, the growth of the Atlantic slave trade. This doesn't even show the Atlantic, so it's not that. D, the results of the Spanish-American War. To a certain extent, there are some results of the Spanish-American War here. You had the Philippines and Guam, which were both acquired during the Spanish-American War. Problem is, that's not what the map as a whole is showing. Okay, that's that result right there is just part of the map. Okay, it's going to be the development of U.S. imperialism. It's going to be B.